Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Guitar of the Week. We're on time. This has been a week since the last episode. When's the last time we did that? We're going to do one of my guitars today. It's perhaps one that I probably should have done before now, because I have had it for a little while. It's a great guitar. We're back to Gibson this week, so let's go check it out. Alright, guys. Brown case. You know that's my favorite. So this is from 1957. We have a Gibson ES-175D. This one's in cherry finish. We'll talk about that here in a bit. So, ES-175s, we have done a number of these guitars. I'm really quite fond of them. We did a blonde 59, we did a blonde 63 with a heel stinger. That was cool. Seems like we might have done one other one. This is my current one. Like I said, it's a 57. But this one is a really early 57. So we're talking a 56 factory order number. The pots were first week of 1957. And obviously we have our PAF humbucker pickups there. Now, this guitar is probably one of the first few hundred PAF equipped ES-175s ever made. It's super early, especially based on the serial number and all that stuff. Let's get this out of the way real quick. The guitar has been refinished. There are a few original cherry finish 1957 ES-175s out there. This is not one of them. This was originally thought to be one of them because the finish is very convincing for that era. It's a pretty watermelon-y sort of color, and it looks pretty close to being right, but it was refinished probably sometime in the early 60s. Our friends at the Gibson Custom Shop were able to confirm that this guitar left the factory as a blonde or a natural ES-175. And it was probably, it could have been one of the first blonde ES-175s with PAFs. I don't really know. But anyways, so yeah, it has been refinished. It was done very well. It does look like an old Gibson finish. The color is somewhere between like the watermelon color you really see kind of in, 58, 59 on some of the ES models, and the early 60s cherry color. But it's really nice, and yeah, it's just a really cool guitar. So because it has been refinished, the original PAFs were obviously taken out of it, just because it doesn't make sense to have those in a refinished guitar. So currently, we have a Brandon Wound 1959 clone in the neck, and we do have an original 1962-63 Gibson patent number pickup in the bridge. I do have an original PAF to put back in this that we may put in at some point, just to kind of get it correct, but it's a refin, it's not a big deal. We do have the original M69 pickup rings. We have an original, probably not to this guitar, bridge bass, Faber ABR1 bridge. We do have a B6 Bigsby on it. Tony, my friend Tony at Pick Guardian made the pick guard for me. Really cool. We got our Brazilian rosewood fretboard here as per the usual. Inlaid logo, original truss rod cover. Yeah, really neat guitar, guys. You guys know I love these. They're some of my favorite, ES type guitars, and this one sounds really good. The neck on it's perfect. It's actually, of the 3 or 4 of these that we've done, this one is probably my favorite, and that's why I've kept it. So I think that's about all there is to talk about here. So let's plug this thing in. All right, guys, here we have the 1957 Gibson ES-175D. If you want to know a little bit more about the ES-175 as a model, go ahead and check out some of my prior Guitar of the Weeks that we've done on these. You can either find them on my Facebook page or on my YouTube channel, which is just my name. But we're going to talk about this one today. We're plugged into a Fender 65 Deluxe Reverb today for our clean sound, and it sounds really quite nice, actually. We'll talk neck profile just for a minute. Lovely neck on this one. Like, when I think 50s Gibson neck, I think this, which is, it's not super chunky, it's not huge. That's kind of a misconception. We've talked about that before, that some of the old Gibson necks aren't as big as the reissues would lead you to believe they are. But it is still a decent sized neck. It's got a very soft V on the first few frets. It's hardly noticeable, but it is there. And then it just kind of rounds out a little bit as it goes up, and it feels lovely. Guitar's nice and lightweight, obviously, because it's a hollow body. Back is just as nice as the front. And yeah, lovely guitar. Could not tell you what the output of the pickups are, because I frankly don't remember. I built that one a long time ago, and this is an original patent number, so it's probably in the, 7.4 to 7.8 range, I would guess. Yeah, so I guess let's just take a listen. So we're going to start out here in the middle position into the deluxe. So, there you have it. There is the clean sound. Let's do a distortion sound, shall we? What are we going to use today? Plexi. We're going to do the Plexi today. So let's cut to that. Alright guys, so now we're plugged into the Plexi. We do have a couple of pedals on. We usually don't use pedals in these videos, but in order to not go deaf from cranking the Marshall up, we do have an exotic EP booster just pushing it a little bit, just to give us a little bit more drive out of the Marshall. And then we have a TC Electronic Hall of Fame reverb on as well, because I quite enjoy some reverb when I play. So, rock and roll, right? Yeah, that's what this guitar does. I know it's a jazz box, really, but I mean, I don't play jazz, I play rock and roll. So, we got a gained up Marshall, and it sounds like this. And there you guys have it. Be it a bit out of tune. These strings are kind of old. I should probably change them. Yeah, 1957 Gibson ES-175 rock and roll machine. Izzy Stradlin used one of these on Appetite for Destruction. I mean, how can you go wrong with that sort of tone? Sorry if you're a jazz player and you'd like to play jazz on these. I can't do that. I'm not good enough. So, I don't think there's anything else to say. I say "so" a lot in these videos, don't I? That's because I'm thinking about what I'm going to say next. So, I guess we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy.